Hey folks, how's it going? I just wanted to make a video real quick and introduce myself, Linus, my game Adventure Survival, and my Patreon, and why I hope that you come check it out. Sorry, I got distracted a minute ago. I've got a pet axolotl who's swimming around his tank in kind of a wacky way. So my name's Linus. I've been working in schools with elementary school aged youth for about 9 years now. And for about the past 5 years, I've been I built and I've been running this game called Adventure Survival. And Adventure Survival is a role-playing game that was built in elementary schools, and it's meant for kids. It's designed to help get kids into gaming, to help them learn some of the structure before they get kind of too inundated with the rules. Don't worry, there are tons of rules, but it's designed to kind of help get past that activation barrier that sometimes can be difficult for kids or even for adults, that kind of jumping into gaming, and to get them into it with 2 feet, and once they're there, and kind of adding more elements as you go. One of the other reasons I'm really proud of Adventure Survival, and I think it's suitable for younger players, is because it de-emphasizes violence as a solution. There are problems that need to be overcome, conflicts that need to be resolved in Adventure Survival, but a lot of those are built around maybe solving a puzzle, solving a riddle, solving a mystery, thinking a little deeper about the situation rather than just sort of trying to punch your way through. So I had to thank you for sticking in this long. So, my Patreon. Why are you here? Thank you for checking it out. Why should you say? I have been doing this game. I've been running Adventure Survival, working with kids, teaching them social skills, teaching them math skills for about 5 years now. In the current climate, things have shifted a little bit. My class sizes are not in person and therefore are greatly reduced. And I'm still really committed to putting out material for kids. I'm still really committed to getting connected with kids, and I'm going to play this game and kind of explore and challenge themselves, even in a time when that's not always the easiest to do. But I decided I wanted to get more online. I wanted to be more of a presence. I want to put more of the resources that I've generated over the past few years out there. And so on my Patreon, you're going to get content that is exclusive to the Patreon, whether it be like sort of notes or modules or a series of videos that I've been putting together about how to run a game with youth, whether it's Adventure Survival or with any sort of tabletop RPG. Some things that I've noticed that I think can be a little bit different than even if you've run a game with adults. So when you come here, you can support me, you can help me keep making sure I'm putting out materials that are, challenging for kids, that are giving them something to keep their mind stimulated. You can get a little bit of an insight about how I've done this, and maybe if you're trying to get kids into gaming, whether it be Adventure Survival or any tabletop game, you can find out maybe some things that might help that go a little bit smoother. Or if you just like what I'm doing, this has become something that is really going to help keep the lights on. I've really had to shift kind of how I do business in the current environment. So supporting my Patreon can keep this going and keep me putting out content for kids, and hopefully creating something that I think will kind of enrich and educate young people's lives. So anyway, help me keep this thing going. I think pretend play and role play is more valuable right now than I think ever, because there's some research about how when you are going through the motions, when you're going through role play, in a lot of ways your mind kind of thinks that it's real to some extent. A lot of the same patterns in your mind are firing off a lot of the same neurons. And so in a time when it's even more challenging to get kids out into the world. I'm really excited to be able to keep doing this, and I really want to keep doing it. So please, please, please consider supporting, and thank you for taking the time, and game on.